Hey, what is up? What is up, YouTube family? It is I, K Rod here. Alright, man. Yeah, let's talk about it. Gonna be talking about the homie Sub Zero. And, I have to say, man, this is pretty much something that I kind of wish I did talk about. So, yeah, let's, break this down. Because I feel like the MK1 community has been very, ignorant on Sub Zero, except for Sikander. Shout out to him. I'm going to be making the case for why I believe Sub Zero needs to get buffed and what I would do if I were to buff him. So here's the thing. First things first, we have to understand what his moves are, what Sub Zero is capable of doing, and what he's capable of not doing. I will say I am personally a Baraka main, but I also play Scorpion, in which I'm trying to get better with him. And Scorpion has always been, like my, top tier main. And I will say, in terms of where things can go with a guy like Sub Zero, is that he has a lot of great mix ups when it favors the certain openings that a person tries to, particular characters try to do to prioritize a means to be successful. And I think when it comes to Sub Zero, what I tend to see from him is that he has a good, safe 1-2, but it's only safe in terms of giving him a opening for him to open you up, and then he's only able to be successful because he needs to have his proper opportunities in order to hurt you to be, successful in the moment of actually beating you. The problem with Sub Zero, on the cons part of his kit is that Sub Zero does not have a meteorless launcher. Shout out to Sikander, where he's pretty much stated multiple times that Sub Zero does not have any safe mix-ups. Anything that you try to do, whether if it's like his back two, which that's like his like a little ice skull that he whips out with the spinal cord, where he tries to like launcher you, which people would say, oh well, that's a meterless launcher, you can do that. But the problem with that is that to do that in a real match, you actually have to use deadly vapors in order to mix somebody up. And if you're lucky, you'll have the opportunity to use that move, but that's really unsafe on block. Because if I try to do that against, like, let's just say like a character like Lee May or Natara, those characters can easily whiff punish you fast. And problem is that the game is so predictable in the sense of where the combos are so endless, and when you get punished in the game, you're really getting punished for a lot of stuff in terms of like the means of like a character having the ability to go out of their way to just basically give you meterless combos, and then on top of that they spam cameo meter too in order to be successful. Sub-Zero is not able to do anything based off of those premises. And what I usually tend to see out of like a lot of people that face a Sub-Zero is that Sub-Zero is very vulnerable when you're able to spam a lot of hard combos, and you're able to corner him with heavy loaded combos where he's not able to wake up safe after like a long handed combo. And but the thing is like Sub-Zero, if he had his moves from like Mortal Kombat like X, I would say, or even MK like 11, he would be very, very broken. But what NRS decided to do is that they decided to make Sub-Zero bad for some weird reason, to think as if like people wouldn't notice that he's actually not good. And I think the issue that I tend to see at a Sub is that he has nothing safe. Like anything that could be safe is his, I would say his like 1-2, where he like uses that one combo where he tries to basically do like the 1-2 back 3, where that's like his like a little kick combo, which he was able to get like a little buff for that. But beforehand, that was super unsafe on block because you would get whiff punished very fast. And Sub-Zero was never able to prioritize any combos to be safe in order to meterless launcher you in order to have any means to be successful. Because if you actually use MKX Sub-Zero, he was super safe. He was able to mix you up. He had everything correct, and his kit was really really powerful. What I tend to see out of MK1 Sub-Zero is that he doesn't have anything going for him, and he basically has to use some means of like a bar in order to use his deadly vapors, like I said, to mix you up, and then he's able to win off of that simply because of the fact that he doesn't have anything going for him. Now, in terms of what I would do in order to buff him, he needs to have a faster, projectile. His ice ball is super duper slow. I will definitely agree with Sikander on that, because in Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11, his ice ball was good enough to actually make it, unpredictable. And I kind of wish like the ice ball was actually, vamped up a lot faster. And then on top of that, he needs to have like maybe like a kind of like a display type of freezing projectile. So basically what I would do is like it would be like a type of projectile where Sub-Zero is basically throwing kind of like a he's throwing like a piece of ice at you, but it's like a dagger blade where he basically throws it at you, but it's fast. So that would be good enough for him to basically mix you up, because Sub-Zero, what he can do right there is that he could kind of like combo into that, and then on top of that you could also freeze people with it too. I think that would be super duper dope if he had something like that where he could throw it while he's standing up, or he could do it when it's in the air. I think that would be awesome. If he had kind of like a ice axe type of fast wave type of projectile, he would be awesome. I think that's something that a lot of Sub-Zero mains would like. And even though that I'm a Scorpion main, and I mostly play Baraka, just simply because like I just have more fun with those type of characters. And I will definitely get better with other characters, but specifically for Sub-Zero definitely needs a faster projectile, because he would be super duper OP if he had his old projectile speed from Mortal Kombat X. Because for Mortal Kombat X, he was super duper good. Like he had everything going for him. His combos were really really good, and on top of that, I think he needs a command grab launcher too. That's another point that I'm going to segue into. If Sub-Zero had a command grab launcher, Sub-Zero would be super duper broken in the sense of he would have everything in his kit to launch you, and then on top of that he could throw a projectile during the launcher, and then that would make him super duper amazing. I would also say, like, for like another buff that I would do is that he should have a sliding launcher combo. So what Sub-Zero can do is that when he slides into you, he could basically kick you into the air. I think that would make Sub-Zero extremely broken, just simply because if you do think about it, Sub-Zero has the ability to give you, that safe combo. And, if somebody tries to block into it, I think what should be a counter for that is that if he EXs, like if he uses like EX, like enhance, ability for that launcher, he should be able to freeze you on contact. So if you try to block it, you automatically get frozen. And then back to another point with his clone. I never mentioned this, but his clone should be freezable on contact with anything that you touch. And then on top of that, I think what his clone should do is that his clone should have the ability to move, where when you spawn one clone, you're able to basically move that clone in a direction where you want it to be landed. So if the opponent tries to, like, let's just say dive kick you, you could have the clone be moved in a sense where he's basically able to punish you. And I think that makes perfect sense, because Obviously that wouldn't be like the best ideal per se, because that would be super broken, and people would say, "Oh, dude, like that's insane," blah blah blah. But the truth is like Sub-Zero, he's a defensive based character. Like, he needs something where he's not going to be put in a position where he's going to be punished for everything that he does. And if you have something that gives him the ability to be broken like any other character would, then I think that's fair, because if NRS doesn't do that, then NRS is basically failing, Sub-Zero mains. And then on top of that, you're making like the game a lot harder to play for Sub-Zero in order to be successful in a fight. Another thing that I would definitely buff out of like the ice clone, if if it is possible, Sub-Zero should be able to throw the ice clone. So how I would do this is, like, if he has multiple ice clones that he could spawn from his previous Mortal Kombat days in MKX, or even MK like 11, if he has multiple ice clones that he can use, then he should be able to throw them, and then basically like air throw them, or just throw them from like the ground. That would make him really broken. So I think that's something that NRS should do for him, just simply because that'll make Sub-Zero extremely god tier. And I think on top of that, with like the clone, he should have like a polar freeze effect where it's like a bomb. And basically what the clone does is that if he uses like a EX enhancer, what he can do is that he can basically utilize any means of getting the clone to detonate, where on contact you automatically get frozen and then you take damage. So I think that's something that the clone should be used for. But I wouldn't be mad if I wouldn't be upset if the clone was to be utilized in a sense where you have the means to, I don't know, like, if you were just able to like throw it after you spawn it, and then you could basically like throw the opponent into the clone, which I think another good thing with that is, like, you should be able to launch her with it too. So like, if you hit somebody with that clone, it freezes you, and then Sub-Zero is able to basically like launcher you with it. So I think that's another good idea that you can do. I would say, as far as Ice Ball, he needs to have like a ice shower move where he could throw ice into like the air, and he's able to freeze you while he can launch you. Because if you think about it, I think that would make Sub-Zero extremely broken, and he would be able to win a lot of matchups a lot easier. And I think that would definitely benefit his playstyle a lot faster, because what people don't understand is that Sub-Zero, he's the type of character where you have to respect his moves, and if he's not able to be successful in a sense to be defensively technical, then Sub-Zero is not able to win with the trades a lot easier. So it's just more to do with like, what is the proper means to give Sub-Zero a good buff and a good tick and abilities, because I would like to see everything in his kit. He should have enhance ice clone where it goes faster. He should have a faster projectile type of secondary ability where he's able to throw like an ice axe, whether if it's in the air or standing, or some sort of like disc blade type of projectile. That would be pretty good. But yeah, I would like to see a lot of stuff. Maybe give him like an ice sword combo where he's able to launcher you with it. That would be extremely amazing. I just think, in terms of what people want out of Sub-Zero, to be let the least amount of buffs as possible, I think it's not fair, because it's just like, Sub-Zero from MKX days, he was really good. My favorite variation out of Sub-Zero was the Unbreakable variation, where he was able to basically do whatever he wanted, because what Sub-Zero did is that the Unbreakable variation gave him defensive shielding. He was able to basically deflect projectiles coming at you. And I feel like if he had those like abilities put in place, um, oh my God, Sub-Zero would be just, he would be a problem in the game. But I just think everything that Sub-Zero is good at now, he would be a absolute threat in the game if he was given that opportunity. But yeah, I just think that's the proper way to buff a character. And obviously the counterplay should still be in effect. But I think in terms of the core arguments that I would push for Sub-Zero if I were to buff him, if it was in my control, he needs to have the enhanced ice clone where he's able to have a freeze on contact ability where the passive of that ability is to be freezable on contact. So you're not able to break right through the ice clone. If anything, even if you try to EX, breaker or EX, enhance ability, try to like break right through it, no, you should get automatically touched by the clone and it freezes you. On top of that, I think Deadly Vapors is a great move. I think that should be stayed fine. He needs to have a good meterless launcher. I would probably say give him like a 4-hit combo where he's able to like launcher you and then he's able to freeze you and then he can just basically do whatever he wants. And also give him like a damage buff. He needs that. Maybe even give him like another ability where he's able to, obviously have like a unbreakable variation where he could deflect projectiles coming at him. I would like to see that. That would be really broken. And I think everything else is pretty good. I mean, I'd like to see the enhanced, projectiles to be faster. I also said give him maybe like a sword combination, like an ice sword combination. And what else? Oh yeah, give him like a enhanced ice slide type of spear combination where when he slides into you he can freeze on contact with you. So if anything, instead of doing like the typical like ice slide where he uses like the dagger on you or like the spear to try to get you in a position to try to stab you to like the ground, he could also freeze you and then he can also like launcher you again, and that would be really, really broken. I would love to see that. But all the other points that I probably have stated, like that I like to see him buff for, you guys can hear that in the video or go back to the beginning of the video. So I mean, there's plenty of things that I like to see Sub-Zero buff for. I like to see let the ice shower thing ability put in. Just give him more buff on his damage, give him a meterless launcher that's safe, and also give him a command grab launcher. That would be really, really good. That would be super duper broken. But again, like make everything defensively broken. His clones should automatically freeze you if he has multiple clones up in the air, or whether if it's like on the ground or anywhere, and he should be able to have it directed in a position where he's not to be able to be touched. Yeah, I mean, there's just plenty of things that I would do for Sub-Zero, and I feel like that's something that NRS is trying to ignore. So yeah, take it with the take it for a food for thought. I think it just makes sense, guys. So let me know what you guys think. I think Bihan deserves his respect, because truth is like Bihan is supposed to be like the he's supposed to be like the best Sub-Zero ever, compared to Kuai Liang, which he's good too. But come on, man, give Bihan what Bihan should be. He's a grandmaster of the Lin Kuei. So yeah, that's my take, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Shout out to Sikander. He definitely inspired me a lot about his concerns about Sub-Zero. So I'd like to give a shout out to you, and I hope you watch this video if you're able to. And yeah, I will see you guys later. All right, peace out, and goodbye.